Welcome to episode 119, Red Leaf, a Retrocast, retrogaming is what we're doing today. I'm JD. Colin, your theme pick today. What is it? What are we talking about?
It is post-apocalypse. Games that take place in some kind of future where some major shit went down and now you're in a wasteland of some kind and struggling to survive. Or in the case of one of the games, take down a tyrant.
Right. And what made you how were you inspired to choose such a theme?
There was one game in particular I've been meaning to play for a long time, and another that's a sequel to a game we've already played, and plus I've played it before and really enjoyed it, so I wanted to revisit it, and that's really it. There's no other big reason for it.
Okay. Well, it doesn't have to be a big reason. Usually it's just, hey, I want to play this game, and then something related to it. Just fine.
Plus, I know you, JD, tend to enjoy post-apocalyptic or just depressing stories in general.
Whoa, hey. I mean, yes, that's absolutely true. I seem to have a theme myself with these things. If there's anything that's true, it's like anime with a destructive, depressing land. Orphans that get the raw end of the deal. That's very nice. I love that. So we now have on the anime cast. I've seen going around.
You're cutting out.
Yeah, it's fine. I've seen going around the. There's memes of RLR and then fuck them kids. So I'm like, yes, we've done it.
That's funny.
Yeah, good times. Joey, you're here. How's it going?
Yes, I am here. It's going all right.
All right. Watching some football. We had a duel yesterday of sorts.
Yeah, your team sucks. They let Everton score on them. Yeah, that's just terrible.
Look, in my defense, I've been a fan of Nottingham Forest for all of like 72 hours.
Well, you screwed up.
Okay. I was like, hey, they got a bunch of Bundesliga guys on their team. And Queen's Park Rangers isn't in the Premier League, and they probably won't be for a long time. So let's go Nottingham Forest. Plus, that's the neighborhood I pretty much grew up in, right? Remember? Nottingham Country.
Yes.
Yeah, that deal. So I was like, hey, all right, here we go. Everton, Nottingham Forest, right away. Let's do it. And they tied. Should have taken that bet, Joey. We both would have lost. One lost.
No, I'll never bet on Everton.
But if I choose another bad team, there's a good chance you might win or draw.
No, Everton has a history of being terrible against recently promoted teams.
Well, okay. Well, I started watching the Bundesliga again this year. Catching it kind of a couple weeks late. No, I take that back. I watched a few games already, but on the questionable sites, got really frustrating. I'm sure some people can relate to that. So that's what's going on there on the sports front. Games we've been playing. Joey, what you up to?
Yes, I started playing Skull, the Hero Slayer.
I am not familiar.
Neither am I.
You're not playing Cult of Lamb?
No, I liked that, but I might get it. But that one has too much of like a town management game inside of it.
I noticed that.
I don't want to deal with. Like, I'd rather just do the dungeon part. I don't really care enough about the cultists. Like, so. But Skull is, I guess, kind of. You run around as a skeleton and you can get up different skulls for different powers. It's a roguelike. So you do different runs throughout the dungeon. And then you slowly get some upgrades and unlock some other things. So it's a lot of fun. I put 20 hours in the last couple of weeks. So it's not bad. Trying to think of what it's like. I can't think of any of the games that I have. I know I have a few games that are similar to it, but yeah, it's just a roguelike that you're a skeleton. You run around killing things.
Okay. How about yourself, Colin?
Oh, got quite a bit. Well, quite a bit of the games I've been playing. Been playing more Danganronpa V3.
Okay.
The plot continues to thicken. I predict more post-apocalypse type stuff for the big reveal at the end, but it's still too soon to say.
Have we ever come across a game where the plot does the opposite of thicken? It thins?
I don't know. It's just things continuing to get more interesting.
Play a game and then I just come on here and go, the plot is thinning.
The plot thinnens.
It thinnens. I'm sure if we like put our minds to it, we can come up with like, yeah, once we just kept playing and the game just got progressively worse with the plot. It happens all the time, probably.
Well, you could argue that kind of happens in some JRPGs, like how games like Persona 3 and Final Fantasy 6 become grind fests at some point.
But that's not really the plot thinning. That's just the game thinning.
I mean, it could be any game where you go through a bunch of plot, and once the big bad evil guys reveal, your only focus is to go kill them. I mean, that plot's pretty thinned out at that point.
Right you are, Joey. I don't disagree with that.
Interesting.
We'll have to.
That could be a future topic. The plot thinnens.
Yeah, but we kind of like would have to have played the game prior to know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it would also have to be a pretty shitty game so nobody gets pissed about it getting spoiled.
I don't know. I don't really get any DMs or anything from this podcast of us like spoiling games that we play. Mostly because we rarely finish them, if ever.
Yeah.
It's just like, how'd this game start out? Yeah, okay, I didn't want to play it anymore. I mean, we played Fallout, or not Fallout, Half-Life. Played Half-Life.
Yeah.
Said the ending of that.
Well, yeah, most of the time, if we have beaten it, it was prior to even getting on the cast.
Right. Well, I mean, what was it? It was earlier this year, played Far Cry and Resistance, and I actually beat both those games.
That's true, but that's the exception, not the rule.
Yes, of course.
I beat Half-Life after we finished the podcast, so it's very rare that we do actually finish games.
And I'm okay with that.
But yeah, back to Danganronpa. I didn't say this last time, but the new features of class trials are interesting. There's actually a new feature in the main minigame where you can actually lie for a contradiction.
Oh.
Yeah. The logic there is that sometimes you have to lie in order to get closer to the truth. Still can't quite wrap my head around that.
Oh, so maybe like you have an idea of, hey, the murder took place on a beach, but you haven't, you assume sand is somewhere in the scene, so you go, I found sand.
Well, it's more like the other
capture people in dialogue that way.
Well, it's more like the other characters get stuck on one particular thing, and the trial is going absolutely nowhere. So the main character has to tell a little white lie for everybody to get off of that topic and move somewhere more important.
Seems like you're teaching our youth the wrong lessons in life.
Yeah.
Don't think I can support this game.
It is rated M, so... Yeah, all the same, I still need a guide when it comes to that aspect of things. Because I'm honest to a fault.
Oh. Okay. Not the answer I was expecting.
I'm honest to a fault in that I suck at lying.
Yeah, but wouldn't you be able to catch other people in lies then? Or do you just believe everyone?
Well, I give people the benefit of the doubt until I get solid proof.
People suck. Everything they say is a lie until proven otherwise.
No wonder you love depressing stories.
All kind of goes together, I suppose.
But yeah, you'll love this, JD. The stupid sword cutting minigame is back.
Oh, I fucking hated that one. But back to the like, don't trust anybody. I've been house hunting like nuts over the past month here, and every house I go into, I just assume they're lying about their fucking place, or they're avoiding the answer as much as possible. It's like, how old's your roof? Man, I don't know. I bought this place in What year was that? I'm like, you are so full of shit. You know this roof is a piece of crap and you just don't want to tell me. Shit like that. Why are these basement windows boarded up? What is this random pipe sticking out here? Ah, man. I don't know. I can't remember. Like, you know exactly what happened. Yeah. What do you think of the place? I think it's a piece of shit, and you aren't telling me it's a piece of shit. Anyways, that was the place I went to on Wednesday. Not good. Not good. Ever seen a house with 3 layers of shingles on the roof?
No, I wouldn't even know how to spot that.
Yeah, it's when you start questioning water damage in the ceiling, and they weren't telling you, so you go, I'm gonna go get my little camera out and take a picture of this roof. Oh, look, there's 3 layers. That's weird.
It's worse when you walk into quick flips. I went to a few of those when I was looking for a house. One of them, they left dry rot on the outside when they could have easily just taken off that board and it would have looked fine.
Mm-hmm.
They really did a terrible job on the flooring. Like there was gaps in with the vinyl floors. There was ants everywhere. I was like, well, how are you selling this? And then it sold 3 days later. So, I guess they were doing the right thing.
Or black
there are suckers out there. I actually, after this podcast, I'm going to look at a couple of homes, and one of them really appears to be a flip job. So I will report back to you, Joey, if there's ants or the like. Yeah. All right.
Yeah,
you were saying.
Back to Danganronpa. The mental snowboarding has been replaced with driving a taxi cab outrun style, complete with a neon 80s Miami aesthetic to it.
I suppose that sounds okay.
And you have to collect cubes along the way like Mario Kart. Sounds fun, doesn't it, JD?
It sounds like a knockoff Crazy Taxi, the way you describe it.
Yeah, but without the announcer guy, it just isn't worth it.
I suppose. It's the more you talk about Danganronpa 3, the more I just lose interest in ever wanting to play that. Especially after the just utter marathon that was Danganronpa 2. That sucker was long.
Yeah, sure was. Although, the dialogue doesn't feel quite as dumbed down here as in that one. Although, there certainly are a lot more references and meta jokes thrown around.
Okay.
And you got Attack on Titan, Fist of the North Star, Arakawa Under the Bridge, Death Note, the list goes on. Of course, they mainly come from the Ultimate Cosplayer girl, so it kind of makes sense. Although, I shit you not, there's even a Donald Trump reference in there.
What year did this game come out? Because that might be. Let's see.
It's 2017.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. But yeah, the third murder has occurred already, so I'll be getting back to you guys on that next cast.
Okay. I look forward to it.
Aside from that, been playing more Dragon Quest V.
All right, hold on, Buster Brown. Got to play this.
Okay.
Here we go. Okay.
Are we?
So we are. That was a Dragon Quest V overworld theme. I love the overworld theme of this game. So I have never finished Dragon Quest V, and it's been a game I've wanted to complete forever because I really do love it. But the thing about RPGs is if you put it down and then you don't go back for like, I don't know, a few weeks, you just totally lose the plot in your own head of like, what's happening? What do I do? Where do I go? I'm sure this has happened to everybody. And Dragon Quest V has gotten to that point with me, much like Final Fantasy VIII forever, where just something weird would happen. And I've played it like 4 times, just never finished it, right? So the purpose of what you and I are doing, Colin, is to fucking finish this game.
So it's sort of like workout buddies. Keep each other going.
Kinda, yeah. I have played only a couple hours to get started. That's how far I am. I just beat like the ghost house situation, the mansion.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
Colin, take us through the beginning of the game and how far you've gotten.
Well, the game begins with you being born and choosing your name, and then you're journeying with your dad throughout the land, coming across various weird occurrences happening, and then you end up resolving them on your own. And I'm enjoying it so far. It plays almost exactly like Earthbound, which makes sense since the Mother series was inspired by Dragon Quest. And yeah, the whole ghost house, that's the up to 10 towers section. I beat that. Then I beat the Treacle Fairyland level, which is apparently locked in eternal winter. Sort of a Narnia situation there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Trying to remember a number of years ago was the last time I played it and how far I've gotten. I think I got like halfway through, but you can see how much I've forgotten about the game already
Yeah.
by that point. Well, so
Rat gets kidnapped, and then the first time skip happened. So now the main character is a slave.
Yes.
Without spoiling too much.
No, we can absolutely go through the game. Colin, it's fucking old as dirt. Like let's go through this sucker.
Okay, the dad gets killed.
Yes, dad dies. So now he's an orphan. Yes.
Oh, fuck, man! You just ruined the game. I was totally gonna play this game. It was on my list, way down there. 100 games down, but I was gonna get to it.
It's 100 games down. I was gonna get there. I swear.
Sadly, I can relate to that.
Oh,
I've got way too many games.
Yeah, I love how the game begins with just super origin story, and then you just find yourself on a ship. You're then it really sets you up at the beginning with various events to kind of get you to know the characters and world. Going through the cave, you're in this little town, you're finding various items, you're fighting slimes and the like, and then you're just trying to solve like little mysteries as you would as kind of a young child. I think, what is he, like 7 when the game starts?
Strikes me more as 5, but hard to tell because he doesn't know how to read. But then again, in more medieval times, that being able to read was more uncommon.
Right. Yeah, so he's super young. He's got his little childhood buddies, and there's like a ghost mystery thing happening in a mansion. You got to go up there and I guess you just like exercise it in a weird way.
Well, by beating the demon that's keeping them all stuck there.
Yeah.
That allows them to pass on.
So that's where I'm at.
Yeah, I've played almost 5 hours in.
Okay, so you're quite a few hours ahead of me. Yeah.
There, the encounter rate is really high.
It's absurd. It's quite bad. Yeah. Now, are you playing like a copy of the Super Nintendo, or are you playing the 3DS, like DS version of the game?
DS version.
DS. Okay. Yeah, I'm also on the DS.
It's funny. I was able to get it brand new for $40 at Fan Expo, but I looked online recently and it's over 100 now.
Yeah, it's gotten pretty rare. You're almost better off just getting a repro for the Super Nintendo at this point. Yeah.
Well, do I have good timing or what?
Yeah, not bad. Let me check here. Dragon Quest V. Let's see. Yeah, you can get a Super Famicom copy for $8. Yeah, and I'm looking on price charting here. Nintendo DS Dragon Quest V, $150.
God damn.
Good God.
It's like the Gunbuster DVDs. started out $40 and now they're super expensive.
Yeah. Pretty ridiculous. So good timing when we got this. I want to click on this to see like what the chart looks like, and whoa, it was 2021 is when it just leaped up over $125. It was about $55 before that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I read somewhere that this game is like the second in a trilogy within the Dragon Quest timeline.
I am not up
Continuity.
on my Dragon Quest lore to say that.
Yeah,
I guess they're all related to each other in weird ways, just in different time periods. Or is that... No, that's Star Ocean. Yeah, couldn't tell you.
yeah. I'm trying to find that whole thing with Dragon Quest V. Where is trilogy in this? Oh, the Zenithian trilogy. That's what it is.
Oh, this sounds
So I guess it
familiar.
goes 4, 5, 6.
I don't think I've played 4 or 6. I know I've played 7 and 8 on the PS2.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah. Or 7 was PlayStation. 8 was PS2. 7's a really long one that got re-released for 3DS. Yeah.
And it looks like all 3 of these were remade onto the DS. So
what's your opinion on how the game progresses, like, once you beat that mansion and, like, in the time it took for you to get to the, like, Iceland kind of deal?
yeah, it can be a little bit slow, but it didn't take me out of the experience. I still wanted to keep grinding away, and I liked the monster designs, the weaponry I could potentially buy.
How about the monster collecting? Because that's a big aspect of these games.
I don't think I'm able to collect monsters just yet.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I got the Wildcat.
Yep.
But that was part of the whole haunted mansion aspect.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think the monster collecting happens until after the time skip. But I haven't played very far past the time skip.
Okay.
In fact, I kind of stopped after that.
Yeah, I don't quite remember when it starts exactly, but I do vaguely remember it taking a good bit of time before you can start adding to your party with different monsters. But that's where the depth of the game really excels. So more on Dragon Quest V, I guess, in the next cast, and we'll see how far I've gotten.
For sure.
Yeah. And that's all I've been playing. So that's it for me. No PS5. I've been busy trying to buy a house. These fucking market. These
Yeah, I'm
douchebag
still
people
saving.
beating up their homes and trying to sell it for $285 million. People are dicks, Joey.
That they are.
That they are. Okay. Shall we get into our main 2 games then?
Oh, wait, never mind. Joey already said his games.
Yes, he did. He did. Post-apocalypse. Let's see. I think I'll play Parasite Eve.
Go for it.
Okay. Post-apocalypse games. Random thing before we get started. Colin, have you seen anything on Xenoblade Chronicles 3?
I've been seeing it popping up on my feed on the DS menu, but haven't really heard anything substantial about it.
So it's getting good reviews and way better than what number 2 was, Xenoblade Chronicles 2.
Yeah.
And after that game, I was like, I don't want 3. But 3 is apparently getting good reception. So now I'm like, but I need to beat like at least 3 RPGs before I even touch Xenoblade 3.
Yeah.
Anyways, post-apocalypse, Colin, take it away.
Yeah. I had some other ideas for games for this. I mean, there was Wasteland, which was the main inspiration for one of our for the first one we're going to talk about. There's also Forsaken, which is an N64 game that apparently plays a lot like Descent. Kind of wish I had chosen it now, but whatever, too
Are
late.
they remaking that game?
Descent?
No, Forsaken.
Oh, yeah, I think they did for like PC or something. I can't remember exactly. I remember reading it in Wikipedia somewhere. But it looks interesting. I mean, just anything that plays like Descent would really catches my eye.
Forsaken was remastered in 2018.
Ah, okay, there you go.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I actually added it to my Steam wishlist or something. But yeah, it's on like computer and Xbox One, apparently. And there's also Shin Megami Tensei Nocturne.
Oh,
That's definitely post-apocalyptic right there.
there's a lot of things going on with that one.
But yeah. First game is Fallout for the PC, otherwise known as Fallout, a post-nuclear role-playing game. And now that I think about it, I wish I'd done a little intro with gaming. Gaming never changes.
Okay, immediately I have to bring up, did anybody look up the Fallout manual for this sucker?
No.
I didn't think to.
Okay, so it is a literal, like, guide to surviving Fallout, and even for this first one, I was super curious, because a lot of my curiosity is because I played Fallout 3, played New Vegas a little bit, I tried 4, but there's one common factor in all of them is the goofy Vault Boy and the nonchalant kind of 1950s comedy aspect to everything. Right?
Yeah.
That's all in this manual that comes in the original Fallout game here, where it's got Vault Boy, it's got the 1950s comedy all throughout it, and it's essentially teaching you the game and what to do, and it's outright, not word for word, telling you like how you should play, but it's giving you sound advice of how to survive in the world through its 1950s comedy, and it's pretty thick. So I kind of went through it a lot, and it's kind of like if you can visualize in your mind, for those that have played like a Fallout 3 or New Vegas, of the big intro cutscenes with that advertisement factor to it all. Come down to Vault 34 and you will, exactly like that. It reads exactly like that. You can put the voice in your head as you're reading.
Yeah.
Through this
manual.
manual.
I'm looking at it right now, and it does strike me as that.
Yeah, so I before I even started playing the game, I looked up the manual and was reading through it. That was kind of fun.
Yeah, I didn't even look at it. I just dove straight in. Before we get too ahead of ourselves, the plot is as follows. In the year... Oh, it was developed and published by Interplay, which are the same guys that published Descent. It was released on MS-DOS and Windows on October 10th, 1997. And in the year 2077, a global nuclear war has devastated the Earth, and thus numerous people had no choice but to shelter away in nuclear fallout shelters called vaults. And almost 100 years later, in Vault 13, a vital computer chip for the water filtration system conks out, and thus a volunteer, that is the player character, is sent out to find another one at another vault, Vault 15. You have only 150 days to do it before the vault's water supply runs out. And that's one thing that this game has that the Bethesda Fallouts don't have, a time limit. Basically, time passes as you move across the wasteland, and you gotta be smart about how you go, because the more you walk, the more days go by, and you may end up not getting back in time. And I'll tell you right now, without the manual, the game does not hold your hand. It's very
No.
much a learn-on-the-fly game.
No, that's what the manual's for.
Exactly, yeah. And much like a lot of RPGs of the time, you have to equip your weapons and armor yourself from the outset, because the game won't do it for you. It's the same problem I had with Ys 1 and 2 in a previous episode of the Red Leaf Retrocast.
Mm-hmm.
And to control your character, you're directing their movements by clicking on spots on the screen, and they'll move there. No arrow keys involved. And you can make your character run by double-clicking.
Yeah, so isometric. I have my immediate negatives to the game.
Okay.
Even though it's 1997, I think the combat and everything plays super slow.
Yeah, that was my...
Even when I sped
Yeah.
everything up.
Action points suck. I hate it. 6 action points to look at my inventory? Come on.
Yeah, it's
Come on.
ridiculous.
Yeah, so the interaction system, it takes what do they call it in the game? It's like battle points or move points, action points.
Pretty sure it's action points.
They're action points.
Action points. So essentially everything you do takes up an action point when you get into battle, and it gets pretty ridiculous. And there's a lot of intricacies you have to learn and strategy of just clicking.
Yeah. It also really slows down. There's a bunch of enemies, like in the beginning where you're running around rats and you have to wait for like 8 rats to move. So then you get to move again.
Yeah. And even if you've got like 80 something % chance of actually hitting them, so many times I ended up missing.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. It's so, okay. One aspect of the game is, so I was looking this up. It was from this thing called GURP. I guess that's the original inspiration for the like layout of the RPG mechanics of where you can distribute points and whatnot to your various characters and attributes. So that part was super deep in its customization, but there is such a thing as overcomplicating things. And I think this definitely, this tried to be too ambitious with too much too soon. And that's why when you play something like a Fallout 3, it's much less involved in all of this that we see in the first game. And we know when you play first games in series like this, there's a lot of growing pains that they do fix later. Generally. You know, there are some games that fucking nail it right out of the gate, and then it's the sequels that, okay, we got to do something different, or we take this critique and it just kind of goes off the waste side.
But this reminds me a lot of like Grand Theft Auto, since the first 2 games were completely different, and then the third one they were really good, like 3D, and this one is kind of different, still in the same vein, but completely different than the 3D version in Fallout 3.
Yeah, I agree. That's a good comparison. It's
yeah.
I mean, I was playing this game on Good Old Games, GOG. Is that where
same.
we all were playing?
That's the one I played.
Joey played the Steam version. He would.
Well, I got this in Fallout 2 and then one other game for like $6. So
well, yeah, me too. It's called Fallout Tactics, by the way. That's what you got it with.
Yeah. I don't know what it was. It's another Fallout game, okay? I didn't look at it. It wasn't necessary to look at, JD.
Yeah. I literally had the GOG Steam moment of, okay, I guess I'll go buy Fallout 1 on the PC. It probably won't be that expensive. Oh, I already have it. Okay, cool. Never mind.
Yeah. So there is one thing this game did well that apparently you don't really see a lot in Fallout 3 and onward, is that Fallout 1 really makes the wasteland look lived in, at least in the human dwellings. Because so much of the time in Fallout 3, even if there's like a diner being opened, it still looks shitty, just like debris everywhere. But in Fallout, they look more cleaned up. As if somebody actually maintains the place.
Oh, weird. I mean, hey, you say that, but I will reference this. I've been house hunting. It definitely looks like someone was not living there for the past 50 years.
Got me there.
It's like, is this a lime green porcelain sink? You never thought about changing that out?
Yeah.
I looked at a place that looked like it went through went through the world of Fallout. I am not kidding you. I have my theories, and I've like come up with my own stories behind one of these homes. Where the heating coils in the winter that like run around the bottom of your floor there, and they have the thick guard over it so you can't touch it and burn yourself. Follow me so far?
Yeah. Yes.
Well, the guards were completely ripped off the wall. The coils were gone, and all that was left was like the steam water pipe to heat them all up.
You gotta be kidding me.
Like,
Jesus.
Man, like, unless they were made out of like pure copper, I don't see the point to doing that.
That's fucked.
Yeah, ridiculous. And I again asked the person, "What's with like the heating missing?" Oh, I don't know. That's weird, right? It's like, oh, fuck off. You can tell my frustration in looking for these homes of dealing with people right now.
Yeah. But as it relates to like Fallout, for things not being upkept, the games do progressively get further away from the event of the nuclear world ending.
How far did you get, Joey?
No, I was just reading about which year each game takes place. So Fallout takes place in 2077. Fallout 2 takes place in 2241. And then Fallout 3 is sometime after that. I think it's 30 years after Fallout 2. So we're like over 100 years in Fallout 3 from when, or 200 years from when the blast happened. So things going to disarray kind of makes sense, I guess.
Yeah, and this one's only 80 years, right?
Fallout, I don't know when the bomb hit, but 2077 is when the game is.
I read it. I'm pretty sure it was like 2077 is when the nuclear attacks happened, and then about 100 years later is when this game. Yeah.
So wait, then Fallout 2 is before the first one?
No, you said 22 something, so that's
41.
That's after.
This one's 2261?
No, this one's like 2161 or something.
Oh, yeah. There you go. Numbers. They're hard to read.
What kind of computer scientist are you?
Computers don't need numbers. It's not like they talk in that language.
No, never. Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know numbers. I only deal with rocks. I talk to rocks. It's fine.
And I talk to garbage.
Well, don't we all? Okay. Yeah, I mean, there's a tremendous amount of lore to the Fallout games.
Yeah, absolutely.
And this one's no different. I was so curious on how, like, the interaction, like a lot of the interaction in characters and NPCs in this is through text. There's no like voice dialogue or anything. So that wasn't shocking to me, and I was okay with that. Just kind of put myself in 97 there. Very deep, lot to go through. Not everyone is going to be your friend right away. Some are just going to try to fuck you up and take your shit. Came across that a couple times. Dickheads. See, Colin, that's what I'm talking about. You can't trust anybody, even in video games. I do like how what's the word I want to use? Like, there's ambiguity to a lot of the like quests and tasks you were meant to do. It's like, okay, I could like kill this dude, or I could try to convince him through dialogue or something. You guys feel the same way?
I don't know if I got quite that far. I mean, I got to Shady Sands and talked to everybody there, and I was looking for some more firepower, but I couldn't find it anywhere.
It takes a while to get going with like weaponry and stuff. Yeah.
And they want me to kill an entire cave of rat scorpions? Fuck that.
I went to a raider camp and started killing raiders.
I went to the rat cave, or the scorpion rat cave thing.
Yeah, I skipped straight to like the ghoul necropolis place. It's like loaded with all kinds of zombies. I mean, the only reason I got to that point was because I was trying to find like this marketplace that some characters were talking about that's got a shit ton of stuff to sell, and I was hoping maybe I could get a more powerful gun there. But I ended up going into Necropolis and getting savaged by zombies.
Yeah, I would say that this has a big learning curve to it all. I think I counted like 20 like skills that you can mess with everything. So just the level up system is also super in depth with everything.
Yeah, and this game got a lot of praise when it came out. It's still to this day considered one of the greatest games of all time. So
the first Fallout?
Yeah.
No, crazy.
Well, it says here on Wikipedia it was
influential. Yes,
it won Role-Playing Game of the Year from GameSpot and Computer Games Magazine. It was nominated for that by the Academy of Interactive Arts and Scientists.
Oh, bunch of hacks, I say. Who cares about what they have to say? Right, Joey?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
My neighbor's bugging me. I gotta step out quickly and switch cars.
Oh.
We have very limited parking space where I live.
Well, okay. We'll hit you back up in a second, Colin. We'll finish up the Fallout talk here.
I'll be right back.
The game is only about like 16 to 20 something hours. Very much a lot shorter than I was anticipating. I must have played this for like 12, so I'm kind of close to the finish.
Oh wow, you played a lot. I played like maybe 30 minutes.
Was surprisingly addicted to this game.
I surprisingly hated this game.
Well, I mean, I certainly did not like a lot of aspects. There was a lot of like key items I would miss until I looked at a walkthrough, and I'm like, I can't even see this fucking thing on the screen. Everything like blends in together a lot of the times.
I don't know. I just don't like how the game controlled.
No, the point and click thing is terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't like that at all. Like, if I want a point and click, I'll play a point and click adventure. Because the game, like, actually moves and flows that way. This one, like, I really wanted a just control the character. I just want to control him. Is that so bad? And then, if I come across an enemy, then we're, like, locked in a stance, or it'll automatically push me into that. So I just was constantly thinking, I want this game remade in, like, modern isometric form with a controller.
Yeah, and I overlooked, like, because the messages were just in the bottom left. I tried to inspect the body, and I was like, oh, I'm going to get loot. And then it's like, nope, it looks dead. There's nothing on it. And I was like, I kept clicking on it because I kept forgetting that I have to look in the bottom left corner to see what my action was doing on the other side of the screen. So that just annoyed me.
The screen is very busy. Yeah, for sure. Now, everything I read is Fallout 2 is a significant improvement and expansion of what made this first Fallout like good in a lot of its aspects. So that might be something worth looking into. But as for like the crux of the game and its how influential it is and what it does for RP, like this feels like a true RPG, while modern Fallouts feel more like adventure shooters, if you will. Know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can see that.
But let's see. You can get the Fallout series, at least the first like 3 games, Tactics, Fallout 1 and 2 on GOG or Steam on sale for less than $10. They're on sale all the time. That's the best way I can say to get it. And I would say if you're into an isometric, in-depth RPG adventure, I would recommend this game to you. If you're not into kind of how archaic a lot of the mechanics are and how deep the tutorial of just in the aspect of just learning the game is, if you're not into that, I can't recommend this game. So from my experience, I pass it. For, I think, people wanting a more retro experience, I'm going to have to fail this game.
I'm going to fail it. I just think, like, unless you really want the lore and you can't find any other way to get to it, I just don't think this game is worth playing. Like, the other Fallouts are way better. This one just is not fun.
I'm reading that the game was technically a commercial success, but at its initial release, it was considered a failure because it didn't sell well in Europe, like at all, especially the UK. It wasn't popular enough in the United States, and I came across something on Wikipedia that was saying other games came out during it. Let me see if I can find that really quick.
I'm back.
Release.
Apparently, it didn't have a trailer. So, what? Okay.
I want to say like Baldur's Gate or something came out at the same time, and that like took away a lot of the RPG audience. I think.
Not released in Europe for killing children.
No, well, come on, Europe. What's wrong with killing kids?
Version 1.2 removed the children from Fallout, and then
God, do we have to kill their parents first to make them orphans? Will that make it okay?
We can't have this. You kill kids in it.
Europe is it's the I've been over this. Europe is the opposite of America. Porn good, violence bad. In America, violence good, porn bad. We went over our pass, fail, and finishing thoughts. What about you?
I give it a pass. I mean, it seems to be solidly designed aside from the tedious combat. And it looks good. It's got, for the time, it's got a very good graphical aesthetic. But, yeah, I still pass it.
Okay.
I may go back to it even once I've gotten a little more used to how it plays.
Yeah, I'm not sure I'm gonna beat the game. I kind of got tired of it after a while. Like, I'm not that much into the Fallout lore, but I did play a great deal of it.
Yeah, makes sense.
It does make me curious about Fallout 2, at the very least, so there is that.
Yeah.
At one point, I'll check out 2. I'm not going to play Fallout 1 again.
No. Next game.
Alrighty. Next game is Jack 3 for PS2. Developed by Naughty Dog and published by Sony Computer Entertainment. Released on PlayStation 2 in North America on November 9th, 2004. In the EU on November 26, 2004. And in Australia in November 2004. Doesn't say exactly when. And picked this one because we've covered Jack 2 before, and I really liked this one in the past, so wanted to complete the trilogy.
Did we cover Jack 2? Hold on.
Yes, we did.
How long ago was that sucker?
It's like episode 43, I believe.
Oh my
the
God.
Sequels cast.
It says Jack Dexter and Jack 2. So you played the first 2 in the trilogy.
Man. Played a lot of games.
Yeah. Yeah, this one...
No wonder Jack 2 was still so fresh in my mind.
Yeah, this Jack 3 has a very vivid Mad Max feel to it.
Yep.
And I was in the mood for it. And I remember way back when, what initially caught my interest about this one was the IGN review. Because the tagline is, if you like games, you'll buy this immediately or we'll come to your house and beat you to death.
Oh, wow. Okay. Threatening.
And the score was 9.6 out of 10.
It's very high. That's very high.
I'd say it earns it.
I don't know about that.
At least for the time.
I don't know about that.
I remember we actually played this one for the Musenspiel.
Yeah, the old
series.
YouTube channel deal. Yep.
Yep. You can still find it on the YouTube channel for Red Leaf Retrocast.
Yeah, we played a good chunk of this game.
Yep. It was fun.
See if I can pull it up.
Yeah.
How
so
long
the
did
plot...
we play it? I'm going to look this up as you go into it.
Yeah, the plot is as follows. After the events of Jack 2, some more shit goes down involving the Metalheads, and Jack gets thrown out into the desert wasteland outside Haven City as some kind of political scapegoating thing. Daxter and Pecker come along, and eventually they come across a city of desert dwellers who live a very Spartan life, so they have to earn their keep to live there. And after proving himself, Jack sets out to clear his name and find out the full story behind the precursors. Admittedly, the plot is a little bit slow to get started, but at least the driving mechanics and Daxter's wisecracks keep things interesting until then.
We played we played just over 3 hours. Just about.
Oh, yeah. That was a fun time. I think we actually played it at my place.
Yes, that sounds right.
Yeah. I think occasionally we commented on my landlord's family shouting at each other right above our heads.
Probably. Oh, also sounds right. That was way back in 2017. It's a while ago now.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty cool.
Good times, good times. And one thing I really like about this game is how the missions flow into each other really well. Because once one mission ends, the next one is within spitting distance.
Yes, that was a major critique of mine from Jak 2, where at Jak 2, you're in that like city world, and you'd go do a mission, and then you have to drive your stupid car all the way back. A cutscene occurs, and it just takes forever. I feel like I'm wasting time. Didn't feel like I was wasting time here. At least in that aspect.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And yeah, for those wondering, the gameplay is basically typical Jak and Daxter fare, at least as far as on-foot combat and platforming are concerned, which takes a lot from Crash Bandicoot. Although this time around, there's a lot more emphasis on driving and vehicular combat, which is a far sight better than in Jak 2. I'll tell you right now, there's no better feeling than driving alongside a rampaging, building-sized monster and blasting it with a grenade launcher.
Okay, so I'm gonna rewind here for a second.
Okay.
So I booted the game up, right? And the old save file was still on there, Colin.
Okay.
Because it was my memory card, apparently. Okay.
Yes.
So I believe we actually saved it on both of our memory cards, memory serves, just in case like one of us had to go over because we both had the game.
Yeah.
But anyways, I digress. So I started the game over, and the game does in fact start incredibly slow, like tutorials and weird vehicle missions that just seemingly never end. Go here, collect this. Go here, collect this. You kind of just want to go into the story. And after about 30 minutes of this, everything came flushing back. And I go, you know what? I don't really want to do this. So I booted up the old save file, and I was like 3 hours in the game already. I was like, excellent. So I continued from there and learned how broken all of the gun mechanics are.
Oh, yeah?
Very broken. So you have the like beam rifle, you have like a rocket launcher thing and a plasma gun, and basically you can, because ammo's very plentiful, it really wanted to do like some Ratchet and Clank thing, I feel, comparatively to Jak 2, which only had like the 4 guns and no upgrades. So the game was like made around those 4 guns and the enemies. This one was it was like they have the same enemies from 2, but with the gun upgrades, like the environment and the enemies aren't made for the upgrades. So there's no progression of the difficulty as your guns increase in strength just naturally. So like the beam rifle immediately, just in its like general form, all you have to do is spin and they ricochet all around the arena and kill everything. Or if you got to solve puzzles and shoot things, you can just spin and it will automatically end the mission because it like will ricochet and hit what you need to at the other end of the map. So it's shit, it's shit like that. Difficult enemies come in, they're trying to swarm you. So the idea in Jak 2 was and the same thing in Ratchet and Clank games. Utilize your weaponry, switch between weapons at key times, and hopefully like you can chain them together and take down your enemies. In Jak 3, because it's broken, and the enemies aren't made for the upgraded weapons, you just obliterate them super easily. So the difficulty of Jak 3 just essentially disappears unless you really concentrate on just hand-to-hand combat.
I guess that makes sense.
Yeah. It's very much how that works out. And there's a lot of... There's too many vehicles in this. Because I really wanted the platform.
Yeah, I was thinking the platform, then the first couple things, you ride a dinosaur thing, bird thing, then you eat dinosaurs or whatever, and then you drive a car. I just wanted to, jump around and attack people.
Yeah, so those were my major critiques over Jak 3. The story, couldn't care less. It's a platformer kind of just there. The dark, and I do like the light echo mechanic they added, but again, you're like this invincible shield god thing, which is wacky. I did think the improvement in how you utilize the dark echo, in which you can just turn it on and off. In Jak 2, it was like you can only use it like at your absolute need, while in here it was very much whenever you kind of want. So improvement, but yet without the enemies or world having a difficulty slider to account for it, you're just overpowered essentially the entire time once you get going past the initial 2 or 3 hours.
Well, at least it's good on a technical level. I mean, I didn't see any slowdown anywhere, and the
that's all
graphics
good.
are pretty good.
Yeah.
It's got a good aesthetic to everything.
Mm-hmm. I agree with that. It definitely looks a lot better than Jak 2. It plays better, I think, in the sense of movement and how Jak interacts with everything.
Yeah. And Daxter is still funny as ever.
Still got the wacky dialogue, yep.
I mean, it's nothing short of a miracle that he isn't annoying. Normally, his type of character is nails on a chalkboard irritating, but somehow the voice performance and writing just completely bypass that, and he becomes hilarious instead. But yeah, the story got a little weird in that the character Kira has little to no dialogue. Apparently there was some in real life contract problems with her voice actress, so they ended up having to minimize her dialogue until they could find a replacement. Apparently Naughty Dog was pressed for time.
Well, yeah, this came out exactly a year later after 2, right?
Yeah. I think. Can't remember when exactly. Let me see. When did Jak 2 come out?
This came out a year after. Jak 2 was 2003. Jak 3 was 2004. Original Jak was 2001.
Suddenly it makes a lot more sense.
Mm-hmm. All right. I don't have much else to say about the game before we keep getting sidetracked in thoughts. Joey, what are your thoughts?
Things to say about my ROM, because it said I downloaded a USA copy, and then it listed a bunch of other languages, none of which was Japanese, and then the game was in Japanese, and then it also didn't have sound, so they were talking, and I only had subtitles.
What?
And then the shadows were screwed up, so the shadows were physical. So when you jumped, there was just a giant black mass underneath it.
This sounds amazing. Did you please tell me you recorded this?
No.
Damn it.
I'm going to pass it. The physical shadows. Going to pass it.
Physical shadows. The shadow creatures they're attacking. Yeah, I mean, I have my critiques on Jak 3. I certainly do like it better than Jak 2. Jak 2 I found quite boring most of the time, to be honest. Do I think Jak 3 is like a 9.6? I don't. I think even in the era it came out, and certainly the same year, I think there were better games than Jak 3, for sure. So I'm passing it, but I'm saying it's overrated.
I think it's rated just well enough.
A 9.6 out of 10?
Now,
You're crazy. Your opinion is crazy. You're wrong. Your opinion is wrong. There we go. No retort. Did I hurt your
I'm
feelings?
not even dignifying that with a response.
Joey hurt his feelings. Colin, I don't
hurt
apologize.
feelings.
I hope your feelings are hurt forever. You'll never recover.
Think what you want.
Ah, no fun. No fun at all. All right. Okay, so our two games were Fallout on the PC and Jak 3, PS2. Colin, your favorite and your tier ranking.
Oh, this should come as no surprise. Jak 3 is my favorite. I give Fallout a B, and I give Jak an A.
B and A. Okay. Just saying, 9.6 sure sounds like an S tier.
I mean, as far as it's thought of nowadays, people still like it. Maybe not as much as when it first came out, but
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Joey, how about yourself?
Jak, my favorite. Fallout, I'm gonna give it a C, even though I failed it. The game still functions, I guess, and I'll give Jak a B.
Joey, you and I are in agreement. C for Fallout, B for Jak 3. That brings it to, what we graded. It's a C and a B. My favorite was also Jak 3, after all the shit I talked about it. And the fact I played Fallout longer. But I had, I had previous experience with Jak 3. Yeah. I think my biggest thing is like cut down on a lot of the vehicles and kind of collect the missions with said vehicles, and we got ourselves a better game.
Yeah, there was just a little too many vehicles.
Yeah. And just a reminder, you can purchase Jak 3 on the PS2. It actually was re-released on the PS4, but the PS2 version's like $8, really affordable, cheap. You could pretty much find it anywhere. The game's like 12 hours. So take that for what it's worth. And Joey, for the next episode, it is your theme pick. Looking forward to whatever you choose. And that will be in a couple weeks.
I have decided.
Oh. What is it?
Dystopian.
Dystopian, love it. We're sticking with the post-apocalyptic.
So maybe you'll be happier with the post-apocalypse after we play these dystopian games.
Ooh. Well, I look forward. Well, as long as there's like orphan children that I can make fun of, and then we're good.
Sorry, sir. This podcast goes out to Europe, and we can't do that.
No, come on. All right. Was episode 119. See you next time.
Bye.
Bye now.